Yo, what's up? Your girl is back, okay? Well, I don't like to say I'm back because, child, I don't know the next time I'm gonna do one of these, but I had the time and I just got done watching Married at First Sight and catching up with it, and that's like a staple over here on this channel. So I wanted to come over here and talk about it. I still want to do like a review where I'm like really like talking about everything with notes, but I just wanted to get on here and see how y'all are feeling about this new season. I have a lot of thoughts, so I wanted to get on here and have one of our like old school lives where we just got on here and just talked about it. Like let's just see what y'all have to say. Hey Tasia. So pretty much while people are still coming in, I think I'm just gonna like just give my overall view, my overall thoughts on the new season and it being on Peacock. By the way, I'm on my webcam, so if the quality isn't that good, please forgive me. I did not charge my camera that I use when I go live, so I had to end up using my webcam. But anyway, I just wanted to, okay, so the new season on Peacock, immediately 1,000% better, automatically, because I like the fact that the pacing, I like the fact that we're getting through it. We're not dragging weekly through these episodes, these 2-hour episodes where we're talking about things over and over and we're beating a dead horse, and we're going to the dress fitting and we're spending like half the episodes on that. We do not care, okay? We do not care. Hold on. Oh, let me put on my charger real quick. So I didn't realize it was that close to dying. I just like the fact that we are getting through it. Like, and not just the fact that they're posting multiple episodes, because I feel like still if they were posting one episode per week, I still feel like the pacing would be better because we're getting through it. Our episodes, we didn't even have to suffer through the bachelorette party. Oh my goodness, because like I promise, like it feels like filler. All that stuff they used to add in there, Lifetime, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. The fact that we have Peacock editing this, we can see what the past seasons could have been, and really I'm like disgusted by the past few seasons. Like it really went downhill. The best thing Married at First Sight did was move to Peacock, because that show was dying, and I feel like it's got new life being on Peacock. How do y'all feel about that? I like the quicker format. It's not lingering. I also like the age diversity. Love the age diversity. Love the fact that they have a senior couple. Love the fact that they have a middle-aged couple. Then they have like a late 30s couple. Like, I'm on the verge of, I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to have a baby. It's either now or never. I love the fact that they have the 20s couples. Because, let's just see how that works. Let's give the older couples a chance. The people that have been married before, the people that have children and have lived their lives, and they're like, they're at the point where they're retired and they want to travel and they just want to enjoy the company of someone else. Let's see how they do on a show like this, because people that are in their early 20s and, I just feel like I need to get married, knowing you have the rest of your life to live. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush it. Live a little bit. Date, do all of that in your 20s, and then when you get to your 30s, let's talk about marriage. So I'm not saying that people in their 20s can't be serious and can't, find the love of their life and get married and settle down and be happy. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that a lot of people that do get married in their early 20s be divorced by their 30s. And so let's give people a chance that, have experienced life a little bit. Let them do this experiment and see how it works for them. Brittany and Will Defender here. They got issues, but they can work it out. Excited to see. Woo! We're going to get to them. But I'm going to say this up front. I'm glad they weren't the couple that got pregnant. We already had that happen with Jeff T and Shanice. Long term viewers of Married at First Sight, y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Jeff T and Shanice, they barely made it past decision day before they got pregnant. I'm glad it wasn't the black couple this time. I hate to say that. Wait, cause I haven't seen all the episodes. Have you? Yeah, I've seen all the episodes. We talking about all the, yeah, we're talking about all the episodes. So if you don't want the show to be spoiled, if you haven't seen all the episodes, wait, when did the new episodes don't come out till Thursday? Yeah, so we're talking about all the episodes that have come out so far. Thought some of the older couples were stuck in their ways. We're gonna talk about it. Hey, Bree Sinead. So yes, like overall, I think the show is much better. If I'm comparing it to the last season, I was very much interested. It kept me wanting more. Like, I want to see more. I want to see more. Having a pregnancy this early is what we're gonna talk about that. But with all that being said, yes, I'm glad it's on Peacock. I feel like if I could critique anything, yeah, I don't think I have any critiques just yet. I'm gonna let the season play out and then I'll critique. So let's just go ahead and get started talking about the couples. Okay. Since I already have Rhonda and Patrick up, let's talk about Rhonda and Patrick. So I feel like I feel like I'm about to contradict everything I just said about giving the older people a chance, but like someone just said in the chat, it does, when you do cast older people, you do have people that are set in their ways. And I feel like because of that, y'all really need to go out of your way to try to cast older people that are either super duper compatible. You need to make sure they are really compatible, or find couples where one is super dominant and the other is super submissive. Because I feel like older women, it tends to be the older women, just because of how they're socialized, that are, back in the day, that the women tend to be more submissive. I've seen it happen. I've seen older people find each other at a later age, and usually it's a woman that had been married for a long time. Her husband might have passed away, and then she meets this other guy. Maybe he's in the same situation, and he's more dominant, she's more submissive, and that tends to work because she will go along with what he says, and he is able to, run, pretty much, I hate to say it like this, but kind of insert the woman into his life. And it probably wouldn't work vice versa, but it works because she's used to catering to her husband, and he's used to being catered to, and providing and running the household and being head of the household. But when you have these women who have been single for 20 plus years, they ain't trying to live like that. They got their own house, they own everything. And so I feel like Rhonda, because she has been single for so long, and even her kids alluded to this, that it's her way or the highway. She don't want to switch nothing up. Earlier in her adult life, she was married to a bum, and he didn't want to work, and so she had to leave him, and then she had to be a single mom and do things on her own. I would like to hear a little bit more about that second marriage that didn't last but for a few months. I would love to hear that, because Rhonda seemed like somebody that, is super romantic in the beginning, and jumps in without really looking at who the person is, and then realizing that's not what she wants and dropping him real fast. That's kind of what she gives a little bit. But and Patrick is so passive. Thank you for putting that in the chat, Naya. And also a people pleaser, that he was in a marriage that he was unhappy in for like 30 years and only stayed together for the kids. And then once the kids, left the nest, their marriage pretty much crumbled and he was able to leave. And so this kind of dynamic sets it up to where she is constantly going to be pointing the finger at him and telling him all of what he's doing wrong until she creates someone who is just constantly sucking up to her, trying to please her, and she's not having to reciprocate. Because let me say this. In the beginning, it seemed like it might would have worked out. They, jumped in very fast. They seemed like they were very passionate. But once they got to that honeymoon and she kept talking about, oh, he only talks about himself. He only wants to bring it back to himself. It felt like, now looking back on that, it felt like a lot of projection, because that's exactly what you do. You always bring it back to yourself. We always have to talk about Rhonda. And like, I understand if I'm talking about myself and I feel like you're not engaging with that, we're getting to know each other, we're strangers. So this is, a big part of it. But if I'm trying to engage in conversation with you and I'm trying to say, oh, like, for instance, the example of her, finding little dirty magazines in her uncle's closet. And he was like, oh yeah, that's common because my dad had the same thing and I found his. And she took that as, oh, you're making it about yourself again. So now, either, that's why I said on that short I made, I don't know if y'all saw the short I posted the other day, but he's not your pet and he's not your therapist. He can respond in the conversation and talk about himself, because while you're saying he's not hearing about you, you don't seem like you too much care about hearing about him. Whenever he brought up the space program and y'all were watching whatever that was they were watching, she almost was watching it like, yeah, I'm watching this now, but that means you're gonna have to listen to me extra later on. It's not like she was actually trying to be interested in what he cared about. She was just doing that because she wanted to get something out of it later. And even when she brought him to that little outing that they went to where they were listening to music and she sat him down and was quizzing him, what do you think this says about me? Can we have a good time? Like literally while we're in the moment, the man probably tipsy and everything else. And you're sitting up here quizzing him, and when he doesn't give you the answer you want to hear, you storm off? Yeah, no, this is not going to work with him. Now, Patrick, do I think Patrick is perfect? Not really. I do think that Patrick, I don't think Patrick is a bad guy, but I think that he probably is a little self-involved. He's a little like, what's the word? Socially awkward a little bit, maybe. But I don't think that's something that would ruin a marriage. You know what I'm saying? I think Rhonda, she is she's stuck in her ways, honey. If anything, Rhonda should not be getting married. If you want to have a little special friend and he lives over here in his own place, you live over here in your own place and y'all meet up, y'all have fun or whatever, and then y'all go back to your separate quarters. I feel like that's what they need to do. What Rhonda needs to do with her life, but marrying somebody and actually having a compromise and actually having to listen to someone else, yeah, no, I don't see that working in the long run. Rhonda is just she's so much, and the thing is, Pat is willing to deal. He's willing to accept her huge personality, because to me that would have thrown me off from the very beginning. I probably would have, you doing a lot, calm down. Patrick, he likes it because he's a very laid back person. He's an introvert. He likes the fact that she brings him out of his shell a little bit. But at what cost? At what cost? Rhonda just needs a little friend, not another marriage. They too old to just have a little friend, send them on their way. Pat don't have no backbone, and Ryan, yeah, that's his main issue. He doesn't have a backbone. He doesn't have a backbone. And then he finally, when she had lost it that last time, where she took him to her dad's grave, and then afterwards she was trying to criticize him once again for not listening, when really he was just trying to engage in conversation. He had to pull over. He was like, hold on. This is even getting a bit too much for me. Okay? Like, I am trying here. I am trying. And she had no choice but to let it go. But it's like, girl, I don't like Rhonda, but I dislike Will. Oh, child. We're going to get to Will. They're both older, so I'm not shocked by the self-absorbed stuff. That's why you have just a little friend at their age, child. It's harder to change. It's harder to change, especially for someone you don't know, for someone you're just meeting. You're not truly, I don't care what anybody says. Like, after watching Married at First Sight for years, I've watched since season 1. And after being in a marriage myself, I've come to the conclusion that unless you're extremely willing to compromise, you're fully invested, you have the patience that it takes to get to know a stranger and go through the growing pains of a relationship very fast, you're adaptable, you're willing to, roll with the punches. Unless you're willing to do all of that, which I don't feel like most people in this world can do that. So, including myself. Because you need someone that when you're showing your ugliest sides of yourself, they're going to be patient with you. They're going to be willing to, work with you. And you yourself have to be willing to change and compromise. And I feel like at that older age, I don't know if you're ready. Now, I'm not saying I still want to see older people on the show because it's possible, but I don't know. It's a lot to accommodate someone in general, let alone marriage. I agree. So let's move on. And let's talk about. Hold on. Let me go back to the. Low-key, I forgot their name. Belinda and Chad. Okay. Okay. Chad has been married 4 times. This is my criticism. But this has been a long-term criticism of the show. Y'all bring these people on here that have all the red flags in the world. And you give them to some of the sweetest people we've ever met in life. They always do that. They choose the people, and I'm not saying that Chad is a bad person, but this is his 4th marriage. This is his 4th time. Who in their right mind on the casting team thought he would be a good match outside of, oh, this is going to be good TV? Now, I do feel like while he hasn't really given us a real reason to be like, okay, he's not a great partner. He's had some red flags. That whole situation with how he was talking to the producer, even though in that situation, I kind of understand the frustration of, look, I'm trying to express myself to her and I'm having a hard time getting it out anyway. And here's someone else chirping in my ear trying to I didn't know that the producers, even in the moment of them talking, that they would jump in and try to influence the conversation. I didn't like that. So I wasn't all the way mad at him for being irritated that they did that. But kind of the way that he handled it, I understand why Belinda was thrown off. Now, do I feel like she kind of went overboard with crying and stuff? But I do kind of feel like she went overboard at the end. But I feel like she probably saw a little bit of her ex-husband in him and got nervous, right? This is also a stranger. Because in the beginning, I didn't understand why she was so upset. My husband told me, well, this is a stranger to her. She doesn't understand, maybe he goes around treating everybody like this. And if you treat if you treat other people bad, then you have the capability of treating me bad. So I understand that. I understand why she got upset with him, the way he talked to her, because that's kind of a red flag. On top of the fact that you've been married 3 times before this, I do feel like he's a little bit love bomby. I feel like he uses his money and buying things. I feel like he uses that in order to woo the woman and try to get her to let her guard down. And I'm not saying necessarily he's doing it for sinister reasons, but I don't know. I don't know that you are. I don't know that you aren't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, cause he's like jumping in real quick with the I love yous. And I feel like Belinda is hesitant because she's a little thrown off by it. Like, she's not really saying it, but you could tell, like, when he says certain things, she's kind of like I don't know, she's hesitant to jump all the way in. I'm worried for Belinda. Very much love on me. Chad scares me. I don't know, y'all. I don't think she likes him. I don't think she's just like totally gung ho about him, but I feel like at this point in her life, she is willing to jump in and give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? She might not be immediately attracted to him, but she is kind of like, let me see what this is all about. How do y'all feel about a mother and daughter being on here, by the way? Because when I found out that we first saw her daughter get married, and then at her reception, we saw, oh, she's getting married the next day. Her mom is getting married the next day, and they're going to be in this experience together. I thought it was a little odd, to be honest. Like, they have it set up to where the other couples in this experience is each other's like safe space or shoulder to lean on. Like, we're all going through this at the same time, and it just feels a little bit imbalanced to have your mom. I could see if it was her sister. I could see if it was like, a cousin or something, like somebody closer to her age, but your mom, like, I don't want to hear y'all talk about your sex life. I don't want to hear you talk about your past with my dad too much. Like, you could, because we really haven't heard Belinda talk too much about her ex outside of, he was gone a lot, he made a lot of money, he was a breadwinner, I was a stay-at-home mom, and, things didn't work out because of stuff like that. But she hasn't really gone in depth, and I wonder, is she not doing that because she's trying to protect her daughter? You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of gets in the way of you fully immersing yourself in the process. If you because I would feel uncomfortable talking to my mom about certain things, especially on camera. But it's cool because this show already crazy. I thought it was odd as well. Yeah, everything about the show. Yeah, true. The show is already a little bit wacky, so I agree. You're right. I see where y'all coming from with that. But at the same time, I'm just thinking about me and my mom. Like, I wouldn't want to be talking to my mom about all this stuff. Like, Belinda only got cast because of Jalen, but I don't mind. Belinda doesn't bother me. Granted, them talking about intimate things is a little strange. Yeah, I don't mind Belinda personally, like individually. Like, if they would have casted her outside of her daughter, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But it's just weird as a mother and daughter for me personally. I'm trying to see, is there anything else with them? Yeah, outside of him, I just feel like he's kind of love bombing her a little bit. But we'll see more as as we reach decision day. We'll see how their relationship progresses. Do I think they'll last in the long run? No. I'm sorry, I don't think they'll last. He's on his 4th marriage. And then I don't know if that was his sister or one of his family members was saying she gonna have to have a lot of patience with him, and he's like, kind of harsh or whatever, and she's gonna have to mellow him out. I don't like that. But I prefer Belinda over her daughter. Ooh, dang. um, but yeah, do y'all think they'll say yes on decision day? I think they're gonna say yes on decision day, but I think they're gonna end up saying no in general. I feel like their marriage is not gonna last. Um, like 2 episodes ago, the daughter slipped and said, "I'm glad we picked him." I think it was a mistake in editing. That's weird. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to her daughter Jalen and her husband Josh. This is someone else. I don't know if he's purposefully love bombing. But he is starting to show his true colors. I in the very beginning, when he told his story and said his mother pretty much, he had abandonment issues from his mom. His mom was in jail, I believe, most of his childhood, and that left his grandmother and grandfather to have to take care of him. He grew up very poor, and I feel like he has trauma from that, from growing up in poverty. It left him feeling very insecure and feeling like he had a lot to prove. And then he also said that he never had a relationship with his father until just recently, because he didn't know who his father was. But he did an ancestry DNA and ended up finding his father and finding some siblings, I believe he said. And yeah, he still is a little bit estranged because they're still strangers. But yeah, all of that is a whirlwind by itself. And I feel like he needs to deal with all of that first, because it's going to influence how you move in a marriage, how you relate to your partner in a marriage, personally. That's what I was thinking from the very beginning. I was concerned from the beginning. But when he ended up meeting Jalen, they seemed like they clicked very well. Now, looking back, it seems like he is willing to do or say whatever in order to make things click well. He's kind of a people pleaser in that he'll try to be as agreeable as possible, but then he has his ways of trying to push her and influence her to do things that he wants to do. Mommy issues mean it's going to be issues for you, child. Men rarely choose to heal and go beyond that. Josh is weird and feeling and masking his true personality. He seems controlling to me because the boundary crossing and trying to force her to do things is a red flag. I agree, because I'm sorry, I'm very much like Jalen, to where I'm not that adventurous. Like, I'm at the point in my life where, yeah, if I go on a trip, I might try this and that. I might try zip lining. Never done that. I haven't done a lot of things in my life, so I'm willing to try certain things, but I don't need at every turn for you to try to force me to do it. Like, if I say no and I don't want to do it, you need to respect the fact that I don't want to do it. Like, certain things, it's like, oh, come on, we'll never get a chance to do it. Fine. But his whole MO is forcing her or trying to influence her or manipulate her into doing things that he likes to do. He's a thrill seeker, so he's trying to turn her into a thrill seeker, and that's not who she is. Like, if she chooses to compromise, okay, I'll do this for you, because there are things that I'm really not interested in, that my husband is interested in, that I gave it a chance just because I love him, and I want to, see what his interests are, the same way he'll do the same thing for me. Somebody I would have never watched anime a day in my life, okay? But he actually introduced me to some anime that I actually like to this day. Same thing for like superhero. I never was into superhero movies and stuff like that. I started watching with him, and now I'm actually invested, right? So there are things that, you know, there are ways that you can include your partner in your interests without being overbearing about it. And he is giving a very controlling thing. Like when it comes to I'm not gonna give him the skydiving thing, because she did. They had it on camera where she said, "One day I do want to go skydiving," right? But I still don't feel like that's something that you should spring on somebody. You know, that's not something. Oh yeah, we're going skydiving today. What? Yeah, I should give my consent first before you just go buy the tickets to take us skydiving. And you know I'm not that type of person, but you're just going to go ahead and jump out the window and buy those tickets. That's one. Jumping out of that, jumping off the boat. She didn't want to do that. She didn't feel like jumping off the boat, but he kept pushing and pushing and pushing until she did it. What was the other thing? Oh, Burning Man. Now, I didn't know anything about the Burning Man festival. I had to look up what that was because I had never heard of it. And apparently it's like a really rich people's type of vacation, and being out in the desert, and people be doing drugs and everything else. So that made me truly question, like, the fact that you're giving so much pushback to her not wanting to go. What is it out there that you feel like it's so much of your identity, something you do once a year, that if she doesn't go, it's gonna affect your marriage? Like, seriously. I truly feel like that's where some of the manipulation tactics were coming in, because he really tried to compare him going to her cycling class, which is her job. This is something she does. This is what she does for a living, versus her not wanting to go to Burning Man that only happens once a year. And I really had to sit here and think about it. Like, if there was this huge event that I love to go to, and it's something that I truly, truly want to, you know, I truly love, and I asked my husband to go, and I asked him to go, he says no, and I ask him why, he tells me why. I'm not really into that stuff. Like, that's just not my thing. I don't think that I would take it personally. I don't think that I would sit there and try to, like, but why? Why don't you want to go? Every time we turn around, you're like pushing and poking and in front of the experts, you acted like, oh, it's okay, I respect that, you don't have to go, it's not something that you have to do. And then as soon as the experts leave, now you want to continue to poke. To me, that's manipulative, because you knew saying that in front of the experts, they were going to call you out for that. And so you knew how to act in front of them, but once they leave, you turn around and you start pushing for her to do it again, and start crying and acting like if she doesn't go, it's going to affect y'all relationship. I'm glad she called your bluff and said, well, if it's that important and you want me to go, and if I don't go, it's going to affect our relationship, maybe we should just end it now. Because he really was trying to force her to go to this thing, and I'm glad she stood her ground and didn't allow herself to be pushed into going. The rich gentrified Burning Man. Are y'all telling me I'm convinced he likes to do drugs? Because I heard drugs was a big part of Burning Man. If you know Burning Man, you know Burning Man ain't nothing fun about Burning Man sober. Plus, everybody say they want to skydive, but very few actually means it. Okay, that's why I'll never say that out of my mouth. Y'all will never hear me say I want to go skydiving, because that's a lie, straight from the pits of hell. Okay, never. And he would have been looking at me crazy. He would have been mad. He would have been upset because I wouldn't have went. He's trying to make it work because he wants to make that ex jealous. Oh, and that's the other thing. Thanks for bringing that up. Hold on, let me read that. He looks like a drug addict. Y'all, I didn't want to say, because I don't like to put that on people, but why are you trying to push her to go there so bad? Burning Man has nudist pockets and orgy tents. That right there will be enough for me never to go. Okay? And she, you know, I didn't know all of this, but she probably knew this from the very beginning and was like, no, I'm not going to that. She keeps talking about the outdoorsiness of it all and being in the desert and everything, but she probably knows about all the rest of that stuff too. And like, no, I will not go. And it's probably making her look at him crazy for wanting to go so bad. I really hope she stands her ground because Josh irks me. Hey, Janelle. I don't like none of these couples this season. Jalen and her mom are strange. Let's talk about this whole ex thing because I'm like, okay, they had a random conversation talking about Hey Newton's third law. They had a random conversation talking about following exes on social media. Honestly, you know, I feel like it's not a big deal. Personally, I feel like if you don't trust your partner, you ain't gonna trust them, regardless of following exes or whatever. Are you actively communicating with them? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Jalen is entitled to how she feels, and how she feels is that she doesn't feel like you should follow your ex. Before he even gave his opinion of whether he thought it was okay to follow his ex or not, he let her know that he currently follows his ex, but he was going to immediately unfollow her because of how she felt. They didn't really have a conversation about it though. It was just like, oh, I'll unfollow her. But wait, hold up. Let's talk about it. Like, I feel like if you feel differently, why not say that? That's, to me, that's deceptive. That's deceptive on his end. You know you don't agree with it. Even if y'all have a conversation and the outcome comes to, okay, I'll unfollow my exes. Get to that point first. Don't immediately say, oh, I'll unfollow all my exes if you don't actually want to, or if you don't actually agree with it. Let's have the conversation. So for him to immediately say that, and then the next thing you know, they're having a conversation with one of his friends, and it came up that he was still following the ex, and she really felt some type of way about that, because it's like, if you lie about something that small, who knows what else you'll lie about? And you know, they're strangers, so I can only go based off of what you are showing me, and you're showing me you'll lie about something this little. So what else are you lying about? And she was standing on business the whole time with that, even though the experts, and this is another critique I have, the experts will do and say anything they can to try to keep these people together. And they were trying to make her, even though they were like, you know, kind of chastising him for lying, they still were telling her, girl, this is a marriage, this is not a regular relationship, and you can't just leave because somebody lied in my face. Let me calm down. Because Dr. Pia really gets on my last nerve. She was gaslighting that girl so bad. Talking about, yeah, you're a married woman now. And so now because I'm a married woman, I got to put up with crap I wouldn't have put up with as a single woman. Because I married this man. I'm not going to continue on a relationship with someone who I feel like is lying to me and is a fraud. That's just not going to happen. So I wasn't even mad at Jalen for being upset, thinking this was a red flag, and possibly wanting to end the relationship, and it being that serious to her, because the man is shady. On top of the whole Burning Man thing, you know, not just the Burning Man, what it represents, him constantly trying to control her and make her do things she doesn't want to do. Because, and then on top of that, something else just popped in my head, the whole prenup thing. He tried to put the prenup or the postnup on his business partner, talking about, oh yeah, my business partner thinks that I should get a postnup. Which Jalen didn't have a problem with it one way or another, but don't put it on your business partner when in actuality It's you that wants it. And then the next thing you know, whenever it came up again, oh, we don't have to do it. Yeah, He has too many red flags, honey. Too many. Why won't he suggest another type of outdoor thing? Thank you. Like, does it have to be Burning Man? Can y'all just do like a camping weekend where y'all get an RV or something and cater to her a little bit more? Why does it have to be Burning Man? He literally just left that relationship. Really? I don't know, y'all. Like, how long? I don't remember. Did they say it on the show? How long he's been broken up from that ex? Honestly, what I imagine to be the only exception is temperature. The experts were jumping through hoops to get on Jalen. I was so upset because she was not wrong. Why does Burning Man remind me of Midsummer? I don't know what that is either. A lot of people really don't like Pia for good reason. I missed the old expert before. The one before her she was shady too. I'm sorry, she was shady too. I'll never forget when she got drunk on live. And she was saying how, I believe it was the season with Chris and Paige. You know how he drug Paige through the mud that season. And she had the nerve to tell the audience that we're too invested because y'all chose a trash partner for one of y'all's contestants. Not only was he dragging Paige, he was dragging every single person on that show. He was dragging the show itself. And y'all, they were trying to they were trying to act like or downplay his behavior. And I didn't like that. What was her name? Dr. Viviana. Ooh. She was a miss for me too. Josh is scary. Also, just like Chad and Will, just weird, passive aggressive. I can't stand any of them. Why would he listen to his business partner? Josh is a liar. I knew it was a mask. Not Viviana. I still remember that Henny rant. Right, she was zooted. Yes, you remember that. Child, she made me so mad with that. Like, we're too invested. If we weren't invested, you wouldn't have a paycheck, honey. That's the whole point, is to get us invested. Josh is the type to love bomb you and try to control you. I know he got a switch. So anyway, I feel like that's all I have to say for them. They're trying to downplay all the bad behavior. I know. Y'all hear Zaria. That's why I don't be going live, y'all, cause she be going crazy. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Megan and Derek. Talk about passive. I want Derek to get a backbone. Like, you can't be that hard up. You seem like you ain't my type of name. But you seem like you're an attractive guy. You seem like you're successful in what you do. You don't have to stick around and settle for that. He must really want a family bad. Oh yeah, we talked about Jalen's mom. And I agree, she don't. Derek is doing what Woody couldn't do with Amani. What does that mean? My mom said Josh showed signs of being a bit. Megan is entitled. They hate each other. That's what I'm like. Do y'all even like each other? Like, I feel like they're like, this is my last chance to get married or something. He shot the club up the first day. Dang, he sure did. Cause it had to have been on a honeymoon. It had to have been. So anyway, Megan, she is a jerk. I'm sorry. She is. She's another one that is set in her ways. It's her way or the highway. I don't understand. This man can come at her in the with the calmest tone, the most respectful way, logical thinking, and she will blow up on him at a moment's notice. She has this man literally walking on eggshells, and he will willingly do it. He, like on the honeymoon, he felt like she wasn't really asking many questions about him. Kind of the same thing Rhonda was saying about Patrick, that he felt like it was one-sided. Like he would try to keep the conversation going and she really wasn't. And from what we saw on camera, she wasn't. And as soon as he brought it up, she blew all the way up. Well, you're not asking about me either. Like she immediately threw everything on him, blew up, stormed out. And I was like, oh, she's going to be a problem. Because the man didn't even come at you crazy. He didn't even, I don't even feel like he was trying to single her out or call her out. He was just bringing up something that he was scared to bring it up. Because he talked to the man about it. He was scared to bring it up. And then that's how you react. That's how she wants him to react, though. She wants him to be too scared to bring something up so that she could do and say whatever she wants to do without any repercussions. That's what she wants. And he will fall in line. The next problem. They get home from the honeymoon. She got this dog. And if y'all been following me on this channel for any period of time, y'all know I'm not a dog person. I'm not an animal person, really. Okay? So for her to bring this, seems like he's never been in a relationship with someone with a dog either. And so she brings in a dog, and she's one of those dog lovers that like to have the dog sleep in the bed with them. She didn't even ask how he felt about it. Just brought the dog in the bed and had the dog sleep in the bed with them. That would have been a big problem for me. She would have really hated me. Because the dog wouldn't even be able to come in the bedroom if it was up to me. And that's my compromise. That the dog can even be in the apartment, period. Because in the bed, didn't ask the man whether he was comfortable with it or not. And then it came to a head when this is your dog. She wants him to walk the dog. I think he did walk the dog, but he ended up having a conversation with her like, I didn't know that I was going to be walking this dog. Without even having a conversation, without trying to see his side of it, see his perspective, how he feels, because his feelings don't matter. She blew up on him that she wanted to impose upon him this dog that he didn't even agree to take care of. And then tried to equate it to him wanting to use natural cleaning products instead of chemicals. She's a gaslighter. And to me, one of the final straws with her was when he had a conversation with his friends and they were talking about kids or whatever. And every time they talked about kids, she always mentioned how she was really scared of childbirth, how she didn't really want to have more than, I guess, like 1 or 2 kids. And this is something that he wants to talk about because clearly he wants more than that. And it's like kind of been a touchy subject, but he talked about it with his friend, and he realized he needed to have another conversation with her about it. And as soon as he brought up the fact that he had discussed it with his friend, she took that little piece and jumped all down his throat. Oh, you talked about it with somebody else. You didn't even talk about it with me. Does it matter? Like, and let me ask y'all this. Is it a problem if I talk to one of my close friends about something that's going on in our relationship? I'm not saying I'm taking everything my friend says as the gospel and applying it to my relationship. I'm just talking to a third party. I'm talking to someone I'm close to. You know what I'm saying? Also, factor in there, you're a stranger. I don't know you. I'm in a marriage. This is something brand new to me. We're talking about kids, which is can be a huge deal breaker in relationships. And yes, I'm talking to my friend about it. Is that really a big deal? Like, would you have a problem with your partner doing that? I feel like I do that all the time with my friends. I feel like, my husband does that with his friends. We don't talk about every aspect of our relationship, but yeah, we talk. And I'll even come back and say, oh yeah, I was talking to my friend about this, and this is what they said, and it's not a big deal. But I feel like she wants to isolate him from talking to people that are going to tell him that her behavior is crazy, because she wants to continue to act like that. She wants to continue to talk down on him and be nasty to him, and him just receive it and not have anything to say back in return. That's what it feels like. The dog can't be nowhere near me. I'm scared of dogs. And then with the whole she said I love you first. She don't bit more love than man. Where is that coming from? They must. You know what? I feel like the most place that they're compatible in is that bedroom. Gotta be. Cause where did I love you come from? Unless she's trying to love bomb him, you ain't never showed nan bit of love toward this man. And I'm glad he held his ground and didn't say it back, because he don't love her. Next thing you know, she pop up pregnant. Now, I'm just like, how irresponsible can both of y'all be? I get it. They're in their late 30s. They want to go ahead and have kids before, the biological clock runs out. I get that. But y'all have known each other for a month and messed around and got pregnant. That, to me, that is very much so irresponsible. I feel like, I don't know. The show can't enforce anything, and I feel like this is rare. This hasn't really happened much. I think the only other couple that got pregnant fairly quickly was Jeff T and Shanice, but I think they at least waited until after decision day. But yeah, like, this is irresponsible, y'all. I'm like, y'all already have this toxic relationship. Can you imagine Megan trying to co-parent with Megan? Because the relationship ain't gonna last. So imagine co-parenting with Megan. That man is gonna be fighting for his life in court. That's the worst decision he ever made. You missed the message, but I was referencing when Woody tried to get Imani pregnant on the show. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I don't think Woody was serious, though. What a coincidence. Pop-up. Yeah, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. Yeah, y'all, I don't see this working, and I see this going up in flames long term. I hate it for them, because now a baby's involved, and I really feel bad for the child. Because even if they do stay together, they're gonna be arguing and fussing and fighting the whole time, and if they break up, they still gonna be arguing, fussing, and fighting. In child custody court. Sad. It's sad. Okay. That's it for them. Brittany and Will. Y'all, I don't know. I feel like between Brittany and Will, I don't feel like there's a right and wrong party between the two. I feel like they both have issues. I feel like Brittany is very needy. I feel like she is insecure. I feel like she doesn't have much experience when it comes to relationships. And I I can relate to that because that's how I was. Um, Even before I got with my husband, my now husband, um, my longest relationship wasn't more than 3-4 months. So I didn't have uh experience with long term relationships. And so I didn't understand how certain things worked. I over romanticize things that happen in relationships because I also didn't have a good example growing up as far as marriages. Like I would see them from the outside, but I never saw, up close and personal what a marriage looked like the day in and day out of being married. Um, so I want to give her a little grace on that part, but I do think, while I think Will is a big part of the problem, I think even if she was matched up with someone different, I think it still wouldn't work out because she is very, very needy and insecure. That's just how I feel about that. Um, I feel bad for her that she's with Will because she is giving her all and trying as hard as she can. And he is, to me, a gaslighter because he is also insecure and he tries to hide that with wanting to feel like the smartest person in the room. And I don't know if I believe he's as nonchalant as he tries to seem. I just don't know, y'all. I don't know. I really can't read him, to be honest. He's very like, he has that wall put up, and then whenever she breaks down, he'll act like he's softening up, or no, give me a hug, da da da. But I don't know how much I believe it. Why can't you do that before she breaks down? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he'll be, like someone said in the comments, he's cold and gaslighting. He'll be cold and gaslighting to her. And then when she acts out to get a response, he'll act like, oh, you didn't have to do that. Where did that come from? Like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Will seems not that into her and doesn't want to look bad on camera. Like, he gets really annoyed by her. I can see that. I can see that. He tries to pretend like, he's just being nonchalant, but really you're irritated. Like when she was like, she said something like, what is one of your pet peeves? And he wouldn't tell her, oh, I really don't, get upset by things. And then he finally said, well, when people make me repeat myself over and over. That was very passive aggressive. Even though that's a legitimate thing to be, be irritated by. But I still feel like that was passive aggressive. Will seems he don't. Her house was so nice. Her house was nice. His could have been a little bit. He could have been a little bit more animated about the house. I feel like once again, she looks to him she needs too much validation from him. Yes, you want some, especially from someone that's a stranger. You want to know that he cares about you, especially him, because he's very cold and withholding, but at the same time, she needs it too much. I feel like you have a nice house. Why do you need for him to tell you have a nice house? Why do you need for him to go above and beyond to say that? You know what I'm saying? But it's also like, Will, why can't you just say she got a nice, you know what I'm saying? Why can't you say something nice? He was being sarcastic the whole time. Is he just waiting for decision day? Pretty much. I feel like he's going to straight up say no on decision day. I feel like he's going to butter her up until they get there and he's just going to say no. I do not see him saying yes on decision day. He wants to come off as learned and unfeeling. I'm convinced he's a sociopath and he's going through the motions of what he thinks he should do. I I really think he's going through the motions of what he thinks someone would be in a relationship. I really do. Because he gives insecure. Like, even with when he was talking to her dad, and they were talking about religion, and the dad was really thrown off by the fact that he, isn't religious at all. And the dad was kind of questioning him about that, and he was like, oh, well, my grandmother is. And he started talking about giving the history of religion and everything. It's like, it's not giving what you think it is. Like, he's trying to give scholar, and that he, I know the history, and I can explain to you exactly why. But it's just giving, like, he just stand on it. You're agnostic, and you're not changing from that. Just stand on it. And a secure person would have done that, but now he has to go through and try to make everyone else seem dumb for how they feel. She wanted him to be like Tom Cruise and jump on the couch. She seems like she needs too much because he doesn't give any at all. I personally feel like even if someone gave her the ample amount, she would still want more. She would still need more because she's insecure. He ain't been animated this whole time. They just ain't a match. Yeah, I just don't think they match. I agree. She's needy. She cries too much. Will ain't all that to me. I agree with that. Will is the type that needs constant. Brittany is the type that needs constant reassurance, and Will is not that type of person. Classic, anxious, and avoided dynamic. Will, anytime he compliments her, is odd. It's heck wrong. You have nice skin. Sir, why are you going through a dissertation? Thank you. That conversation, it was the worst conversation they could have possibly had. I know the dad was like, I know he didn't care for him after that. I know he was done with Will at the first conversation. Surprisingly, her family liked him when he came to visit. He knew how to act on that visit. You don't have to be a Christian to be respectful of others' religions. I agree. I think Brittany is looking for this much validation because she doesn't feel secure in her relationship, so she's looking for validation anywhere. I think she just doesn't know. Like, she's not experienced with relationships. And I'm saying this as someone who I wasn't that as needy as her, but I was looking for a little bit more because I thought that's what you're supposed to do in relationships. Thankfully, I had someone that was patient, and I kind of had someone that was willing to teach me, and I learned as I went along, how things went in relationships, how I wanted my relationship to look like with this person. I feel like she just doesn't understand how that dynamic should be, and she's asking for too much. She's asking for like a fairy tale, and fairy tales don't exist in real life. This was the first indicator of a mismatch. They have a different belief system. Cause I was concerned, like, how does she feel? Like, I know the daddy is religious, but is she as well? Also, owning a house in this economy is a big accomplishment. Clap for me. I agree. Like, he should have at least given her a little bit more validation in that way. Just like, what this is a huge accomplishment. Because does he have a house? I'm not a words of affirmation type of person, so I'm not mad at him too much about that. But he does think he is the smartest in the room. That's my problem with him. It's like he has a very like duh attitude, like duh, how did you not know that type of attitude? Or I don't know, it's just like he's very snooty, he's very condescending. Yeah, that doesn't help with the situation. Even if he is right in the moment, his attitude, his tone, the way he speaks to her, the way he handles her, is like a jerk. And that makes you wrong. And then he wants to come in when she finally breaks all the way down. Now you want to hug on her and kiss on her. No. Why are you waiting until I feel like I'm alone to do that. I agree they are unequally yoked in terms of religion, at least from the parents' perspective. Yep. The scene where the family was making them kids. Yeah, now that was weird. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry I wouldn't have did it. Like, if I'm at your family's house and they say kids, we're not a dog performing a trick. I'm sorry, we're not children. Like, ooh, do that little dance. No, I'm not kissing just because you told me to kiss. I've been in Brittany's place too. She lacks experience, and that's not bad, but her relationships sound like they've all been situationships. Had to be. Like, if your longest relationship is like 3 to 4 months, it sounds like you've had a lot of situationships. He likes to fight because on the balcony on the honeymoon, her saying, of course you think everything is fine, and he went on a spiel about how there's people to fight fires. He is a jerk. Yeah, she's only had situationships and said she moved. Yeah. She's she seems like she looks at sex as love or a form of showing love. And I feel like that's why she was so offended when he was like, maybe we need to pull back. Even though I feel like he knew she wasn't gonna like what he had to say about that. I would have liked to see how that conversation went, because did she immediately freak out, or was he just being very cold about it? Will is also a deflector in every situation. Anytime the experts attempt to shift the conversation and ask Will what he needs, he shifts it to what Brittany needs. He also might be a people pleaser. A part of me could see that, because he tends to give in when she's like crying or extremely emotional. Maybe he is a people pleaser in that way, like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give in right here. But a part of me feels like, oh, here you go, type of thing. I kind of skipped his intro, but is he full black or white mom? Is he? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention that deep. If he is mixed, I missed that. But I do know he was getting on his friends' nerves, trying to be verbose and have this huge vocabulary and say all these. Clearly, that's not how you talk on a regular, because they were looking at him crazy when he was trying to use all this these vocabulary words. Hey, Caitlin. She wants him to make pretty babies. I will say, they are a cute couple. They're cute. They're both individually cute. I just don't think that they're cute together. And I mean, as far as their personalities, they just don't mesh. Yeah, then she got to yelling, talking about they kissed. Are we in middle school? PDA in front of the fam. That was so weird. Please. And plus, I'm not even trying to kiss in front of. I'm not trying to kiss in front of my man. Well, actually, I'll do a peck, but I'm not going past that. And he was like grabbing on her neck. Where does Will get his lace blouses? Kirk Franklin wants to know. And that one dangly earring. I was confused about what happened with them on the honeymoon in terms of the sex. Something happened to where they had sex and she almost got pregnant, and so I'm assuming they didn't use a condom. I don't know. They never got specific, like, but she was at risk of getting pregnant, and then I guess but how she reacted bothered him, so he was like, maybe we shouldn't do that again. And I'm just like, well, maybe y'all should use protection, or maybe y'all could have gotten a plan B. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to jump straight to not wanting to do it, but at the same time, let me be fair, because if it was a woman that said, look, maybe we should stop, and maybe we shouldn't have sex right now, we will all be up in arms if the man would act up like, how dare you, you know? I'm sorry, I can't give him any benefit of the doubt. Consoling me after you broke me down doesn't give you any points. Has Will ever dated black girl? That's something I would like to know the answer to. It's a shame. They really do look good together. They do. They're not compatible. He don't like her. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Cause sometimes I feel like I'm just gonna go by this. When a man shows you who he is, you gotta believe him. And just from his actions, it does seem like he doesn't like her. His demeanor, just like it just feels like he's in a constant state where he wants to roll his eyes. He's just holding himself back. I think Will is trying. I think he is taking what Brittany and the expert says and trying to apply it to them, but it's going to take time. I don't know. He might have shut up the club and got scared. Why are you shooting up the club of someone you're just meeting? I know it's your wife. And I don't fault y'all for having sex on the first night. Y'all married. But shooting up the club is irresponsible because you don't even know if you're going to say yes on decision day. You don't even know how you're going to feel about this person in the next 2 months. And then getting somebody pregnant, speaking as someone who has just went through a pregnancy and the hormones still have not calmed down. When someone is pregnant, you're not even getting to know who they are. You're getting to know the emotionally unbalanced version of them. Like, and you're not even going to see, I mean, honestly, who you were before, especially as a first time mom, who you are before, you'll never be the same because now you're a mom. So I can't even say you'll go back to the way you were. You may never. And I'm trying to figure out where I stand now that I've had a baby. And so to be doing that and married to a stranger, that's too much. You need someone who will be able to have patience with you, cater to you during that time. Does he seem like the type that would cater to her while she's pregnant? I thought she was smart. Where was the safe sex? You should at least have birth control. She graduated from my university, so I wonder if that was the season she tried for and didn't get picked. He don't like that woman. He hates her. They look cute together, but it's clear she wants him more. And honestly, something my grandma told me a long time ago. You have to find a man that wants you more than you want him. I feel like that is, maybe not in every case, but I feel like that is a good piece of advice, because women, we tend to be able to reciprocate as far as love goes and nurturing and things like that. Now, I'm not saying find somebody that wants you and you don't want them at all in return. Somebody that wants you more, okay? Because they're going to pursue you. But he ain't trying to pursue in any way, shape, or form. I think he appreciates her personality because he always talks about how sweet she is, but I don't think he likes her. Team Brittany and Will blocking out the hater. Samuela, you on a ledge by yourself, honey. I'm sorry. Miss Samuela, you on a rap. You on a rap. Yeah, she's so thirsty on the FaceTime. I know. I'm like, oh, not for him. Not for Will. Ugh. Not for dangly earring Will. Not for Carlton Banks Will. She is going to look back on that and cringe. Now you have that digital footprint out there of you thirsting, even though that was your husband, thirsting after a lame. I think about the people that I used to like, the people that I thank God there is not a digital footprint. There's not a picture someone can go back and, oh, Pinky used to. That's why I'm private. Okay? Because if I had to relive any of the people that I used to date, because if you ask me, I didn't even date anybody before my husband. I'll deny. And you ain't got no proof. I can argue with you when you're right. The Kirk of yesterday is not the Kirk of today. Wait, who y'all talking about? Oh, Kirk Franklin. Did y'all talk about Jalen crying in bed with what's his name? Yes. We talked about Jalen and Josh. I really didn't get into the community portion because I'm very confused. Like, I'm so confused. Why does he think Burning Man is a community and that's something you do once a year? I thought community was friends. I thought community was like maybe like a running group or a club that you're a part of, or maybe like, I don't know. I didn't know, what is he talking about when he's talking about community? And how you gonna tell her what community is and you don't have your own? I call Josh and Jalen the social media influencer couple. They do give that, especially in the beginning. Like, it was too good to be true. It was too good to be true. They were really putting up a good front, and then especially when they ran down the line of, oh, I think these are the people that are gonna stay together in order of who has the best chemistry. Why would you even do that? Now look at where they are. Being Team Brittany and Will is hilarious. No judgment. That sounded like judgment, Tasia. I'm sorry. Caitlin said, Caitlin, I'm ashamed. Okay? Delete all that. Okay? Get rid of it. Burn it. Cut them up. Brittany is so gorgeous. Got a nice body. Good job on a home. Can't wait to see what she has going on. Did y'all see, I didn't mean to change the subject, but did y'all see what's her name? I cannot remember her name. She was on the season with Kirsten and Shaq. I cannot remember her name or the guy she was married to, but she recently got married. Let me see if I can find her. Hold on, y'all, because I'm proud. I'm so happy for her. Let me see if somebody put in the chat. Okay, they were on season 16. Cause I want to show y'all, she is doing so good. She finally got, hopefully the man, I don't know how the relationship is, but just to see that she got married and she's having a baby, she just looks so happy. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. But let me find her Instagram. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I was following her. Hold on. Here you go. She's married and she is having a baby. She got her teeth done too. Jasmine. Let me see if I can pull up. This was her wedding. I was so happy for her because the guy her season, what was his name? Eris. The way he did her so dirty and didn't give her a chance. Paige too. Paige too. I don't know if Paige is married, but she has I think she has a child as well. Let me pull her up. That's Jasmine, Nicole, and Chris. Oh yeah, Nicole and Chris are having twins. The pageant queen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is Paige. She had her baby. I was happy for her. Um, yeah, that man did not like her. But this is her with her man too. I was so happy for her. I was so happy for her because y'all know what she went through with Chris. So to see that she looks like she's happy, I can't, you can't never say for sure, but they look happy. I'm happy for Jazz and her husband. Who else? What's her name? I need to do a where they are now. I need to do a where are they now? Because it's a few people that I'm really happy for now. Paige is married. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. But it's a few people that I'm so happy that y'all got away from whoever this show hooked y'all up with and y'all actually found love. Oh yeah, Steve and what's her name? Let me see if I can find. Steve and Mindy, they're engaged. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why my grandma used to think he was mixed. I'm like, no, he's not. Well, he is mixed with white, but he's not mixed with black. But yeah, I might do like a where are they now, because I've been seeing a lot of married at first sight people popping up with, their own family outside of the show. And congratulations to the people from the show that made it work and are having healthy relationships. I'm proud of them too. But if y'all got matched up with a fool and went on and found somebody that actually cared about you, actually loved you, and you moved on, I'm really happy for you. Are Katina and Olajuwon acting like they're not together? I thought they broke up a long time ago. When he cheated on her or something like that and Katina exposed him, they got back together after that. I can't say I'm surprised if they did. Steve looking good. Steve always was handsome to me. He always was a handsome guy. I feel like he didn't really get a fair shake. Even though I was questioning his job. Hopefully he has one, okay? Because I don't know if that ever got confirmed. What else are you watching? Any other review? I don't want to make any promises because, child, juggling work and being a mom, child, is be so hectic, and I don't want to promise something and not deliver. But I want to at least do like a review of Married at First Sight. I want to review the whole thing. Or I might break it up into like 2 videos. I want to talk about Married at First Sight. I want to, what else am I watching? Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, I'm watching Squid Game The Challenge. I don't think I'm gonna review that though. That's been pretty good. They've been on and off for years. Hold on. I can't believe the way she exposed him. He ain't on her page, but she probably know better than to put him on her page. Anyway, She's a mother now. Right. Hold on. Let me, before I get off, I'll be right back. Look, baby girl. Look. Look. Say hey. Say hey, everybody. Say hey. Say hey, baby girl. Say hey, baby girl. It's a lot of lights, ain't it? Yeah, you saw these lights. But yeah, this little girl, she takes up all my little free time that I be having. So I'm trying to find a way to like maybe record. Maybe I'll start recording like once I get off work in my car, or I don't know. A baby. Say hey. Say hey. Y'all internet niece. Say hey. She's going to be 4 months next week. Say hey, everybody. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw Alandria on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. Child, she a celebrity. I was in shock. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, oh, she's on another level. She's surpassed Serena and Janae and Leah. She surpassed them. What does she think of the couples? What do you think? Because we sure been watching Married at First Sight together. What you think? What you think, baby girl? I'm teaching her what not to do. Huda was mad. Okay. Huda lost all her deals. And here goes Alandria popping up on the cover of magazines. Hey, baby girl. Say hey. Say hey. She sure did. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to hop off. I think it's time for her to eat. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for all the love. Thank you so much. And I'm going to try to start posting more. Maybe I'll start going live more. She's more calm now. Before I was like, I wasn't trying to go live because she was always crying or, you know, looking for me. But now she's more chill. So I feel like I probably could do more live. I probably could even do some lives with her. But yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. Say bye, Zaria. Say bye, Zaria. Ooh, Traders. I might review Traders. I don't wanna commit to it just yet, but I really love Traders and I might just go ahead and review it because I feel like it's gonna be a really good cast. Say good night, baby girl. Good night. All right, I'll see y'all later. Oh, she trying to talk. She's trying to talk, y'all. You trying to talk? This is something that's fairly new, y'all. She's been doing a lot of like babbling. Trying to say hey? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. She's trying to give her little review. Oh, you so cute. You so cute.